Welcome back, children. So this is the third session of your class 10 lesson 2 respiration, the energy producing system. And till now you learnt about human respiratory system, the different levels of gases exchange. You learnt about one experiment where we understand that the exhaled gas is carbon dioxide by showing that lime water turns milky, and we learnt about the gases exchange at from alveolus to capillaries and capillaries to alveolus. Today we are going to learn a little extra about what is respiration in human beings and also how the glucose molecule is broken down. What is the process involved in that? Right? Welcome. I wish that you all learnt or went through the textbook when you are listening to the video. There are two concepts here, oxyhemoglobin and deoxyhemoglobin. This is something I just want you to explain. I just want to explain for you to understand. Our body has blood. Blood is the transport system in our body. It circulates everything, including nutrients, including waste, everything it transports in our body. It helps in circulation. And what is there in that? In 9th class, in your third lesson, animal tissues, we learned tissues as blood as one of the connective tissues. Blood is the fluid connective tissue because it has most of it is water, and then its main components are platelets, RBC and WBC. What is RBC? Red blood cells. That means the color of it is red. And these RBC, why are they red in color? Because they have hemoglobin in it. Hemoglobin, how is it getting its color? Because of the presence of iron in it. Exactly in the first lesson of this class, I told you hemoglobin acts like chlorophyll in plants. Hemoglobin acts like chlorophyll in plants. There it has magnesium, here it has iron. Red color, and the RBC is biconcave in nature. It is like this. Biconcave in nature. Concave parts are exposed. And why are they like that? So that the gases can come and get attracted to the surfaces and they are held on and they can be transported. Not just gases, the nutrients also get attracted and they are saved in the disc shape inside the RBS. Now the transportation takes place. If the hemoglobin is having oxygen connected, maximum oxygen molecules connected, then we call it as oxyhemoglobin. It is rich with oxygen. Maximum you see this in arteries except pulmonary artery. And deoxyhemoglobin, here oxygen is not there. If oxygen is not there, what is there? Deoxy. That means oxygen is not there. If oxygen is not there, there should be something else, that is carbon dioxide. So when carbon dioxide is there and no oxygen, then we call it as deoxyhemoglobin. Everything again in the RBC itself, of course. And the deoxyhemoglobin usually where do you see? We see in the blood vessels, which we call them as venules or veins, except pulmonary vein, of course. So this is about oxyhemoglobin and deoxyhemoglobin. And here every time we are talking about respiration and oxygen. Respiration and oxygen. That means all living organisms need oxygen to respire. Are there no organisms which can respire without oxygen? Yes, there are. That's why we need to make your learning complete, we need to learn about anaerobic respiration. You might have heard about it. Because I didn't touch the topic till now, you were thinking that this is all this. That's all. No. Now, till now we were learning about aerobic respiration where oxygen is involved. Aerobic respiration. Here oxygen is involved. Anaerobic respiration. Remember the spellings, children. Don't go wrong. And I have to confess, I am also not very thorough with the spellings, but not all spellings. Few spellings I try but I don't get. And okay, Okay, because but when I am supposed to teach you, I'll definitely go through the spellings and come. So that is how you are also supposed to overcome your problems. Like it's better not to hide our mistakes, better to accept, learn, and become richer, because that is all about learning. Hiding is not going to help us in any way, right? So aerobic respiration where oxygen is involved, anaerobic respiration is where carbon dioxide, sorry, no oxygen is involved. See, that's what I'm saying. We do make mistakes. Teachers are not so perfect, you know. We also make mistakes and we enjoy making the mistakes. Of course, when children are there and when they laugh at us, yeah, right. Anaerobic respiration is no oxygen is used. Here oxygen is used and here no oxygen is used. Right. Oh, where is it happening? Oh my god, this is extra topic, nothing. It is what is happening at home when your mummy is cooking your favorite breakfast, or she is preparing chapati, aloo paratha. She nowadays, because of corona, so many of us are trying to do variety dishes, baking. Everyone has become experts in baking. So what is happening when every time you prepare a dough, allow it to rest for 1 hour and then the dough rises? Why? What happens? Some magic? Mummy does any magic on that? No. Inside, anaerobic respiration is taking place. You cover it up, you don't permit the oxygen to enter inside, but inside bacteria are there. That means, what are the examples for anaerobic respiration? Some of the bacteria, they respire anaerobically. That means you learnt in 8th class microorganisms lesson. Bacteria are like almost omnivorous. We always, omnipresent. Whenever we say omnipresent, we say, oh God is omnipresent. No, for me, bacteria are omnipresent. They are present in hot temperatures, they are present in cool temperatures, they are present in the atmosphere, they are present on our body, they are present inside our body, they are present everywhere. Tell me where they are not present. They are present in water, they are present in the soil. Oh my God, everywhere. Everywhere. Now when I am talking, they are present here, but of course we are not able to see because they are microorganisms. They can be seen only with a microscope, right? So anaerobic respiration, some of the bacteria, they conduct anaerobic respiration. For them, they don't need oxygen. They generate energy. But of course, when aerobic respiration takes place, more energy is released. More energy is released. Energy. And anaerobic respiration, less energy is released. So some of the bacteria, some of the fungi, yeast, like that, they respire anaerobically. Now let us understand what is happening. How is it for both of them? What is required is for aerobic respiration, oxygen is required. For anaerobic respiration, oxygen is not required. But for both of them, the raw material is glucose. Both of them need glucose. So, what is the first step of breaking down of glucose? In first lesson, nutrition lesson, I told you when something is breaking down, we call it as lysis. We call it as lysis. Glucose is breaking down, so obviously what do we call it as? Glycolysis. Glucose is breaking down, so we call it as glycolysis. Glucose is breaking down, so glycolysis. The first step of glycolysis is, how many carbons are here? This is a 6 carbon compound. This compound is how many carbon compound? 6 carbon compound. Excuse me. Sorry. You have to sneeze into your elbow, children. 6 carbon compound. Now it is broken down into 3 carbon compound. 3 carbon. It is broken down into 3 carbon, 3 carbon. This 6 carbon compound breaks down into 3 carbon. What is it called now? This is called glucose. This is called pyruvate. Pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid. This is called pyruvic acid. What is the first step of glycolysis? Glucose is broken down into 2 pyruvates or 2 pyruvic acids. Can you see 2 pyruvic acids? What is the first step of glycolysis? Glycolysis means breaking down of glucose. The first step of glycolysis is breaking down the glucose into two pyruvic acids or two pyruvates. That means 3 carbon compounds. 3 carbon compounds. That is the first step. Here it is same. It is same for both aerobic respiration as well as anaerobic respiration. From here it differs. So let us see how it differs. I'll wipe the board and make it a little more clear for you. Glycolysis. Breaking down of glucose. C6H12O6. It will break down into, this is 6 carbon compound. This is 6 carbon compound. This is glucose molecule actually. It will break down into 3 carbon compound. We call it as pyruvic acid or pyruvate. Okay. Till here, both for aerobic and anaerobic the same. From here what happens is, in presence of oxygen, first this is both same. In presence of oxygen, what will happen? CO2, H2O plus ATP molecule is released in aerobic respiration. This is aerobic respiration. Next, in absence of oxygen, this is anaerobic respiration. It doesn't mean that in all the organisms both aerobic and anaerobic will take place. No, I am just giving you an example. In all the organisms where they have to respire aerobically, both will respire aerobically only. Just to make it a little short and convenient for you senior class students, I am giving like this. Now anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration again can be done 2 ways. One, carbon dioxide is same and then lactic acid is produced. Lactic acid is produced and then energy is produced. I mean, let us mention it as heat. Or heat energy, right? And then again here also carbon dioxide is common. In all 3 carbon dioxide is common. But what happens is, here instead of lactic acid, alcohol is produced. Oh, spelling. Alcohol is produced and heat energy. Here fermentation. Where do you see this kind of fermentation? In all the beverages where bacteria and yeast. The example is bacteria and yeast. In all the beverages, in all the bakery products, if you go to any bakery, yeast is used to raise the dough and you get soft, fluffy cakes or bread and everything. That is because of yeast. And at home also, mummy prepares idli batter, dosa batter, and she allows it to rest for minimum of 6 to 7 hours. And then the batter rises like this. And then when you try to put your ladle inside and try to stir it, you get pop, pop, pop sounds, and then a sour taste comes to the dough. That is fermentation. And then here, carbon dioxide and lactic acid, where do you see? In some of the bacteria and surprisingly human muscles. Bacteria and human muscles. Now this is something very intriguing and we should be interested to be learning. Are you interested? Shall I explain? Yeah, right. Let us see. I think you are interested. To make it more interesting for you, I'll ask you some questions. Now that you are not playing anything because of this COVID situation, so unprecedentedly, so shocking and so disappointing to most of the children, but once, if you are permitted to play in the ground, after 4 months, almost 4 months, after 4 months, if I ask you to run around the ground for 10 times in our stadium, if I ask you to run 10 times in the ground, what will you complain about? If I run, after 3 rounds I will say I am getting pain. Where do I get pain? I get pain in my calf muscles, in my leg muscles, calf muscles. I get pain. And suppose, why am I getting the pain there? Not because the muscles are strained. Of course, muscles are strained. But it is because the calf muscles are supposed to get energy to run, because your body, your stomach or your upper part of the body is not actually supporting. Your arms and your legs are actually supporting and helping it to run. And whichever body part you are using strenuously to keep in pace, that body part needs extra energy. And of course we have plenty of energy in our body, but when you are using that energy and using extra energy, actually your energy is only for 2 or 3 rounds, but you are asked to run 10 rounds. Just because you are madam asked and because you don't want to give up, just with the grit you run, then you get the pain. So from where are you getting this extra energy? Then and there, so fast you don't get the energy. So the muscles are doing some extra work, other unprecedented work they are doing. What are they doing is, they are actually all the excess energy, calories that they retained, the energy they kept in store, that is also used up. Now muscles don't want to give up. You don't want to give up. Your brain is giving messages, don't give up, don't give up. So your muscles also don't want to give up. So what the muscles do is, they do anaerobic respiration. They do anaerobic respiration. How do they do? In absence of, because that fast you are not getting oxygen to generate it. Actually your mitochondria can generate energy, but that much energy, oxygen you are not getting. So in absence of oxygen, already all the oxygen that is used up in our body to generate the energy required for you to run. Now without oxygen you are supposed to generate energy. So what the muscles will do is, they start generating energy in absence of oxygen. Generating energy in absence of oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. Only muscles can do that. Human muscles can do that. And then this anaerobic respiration, what will it do? It will burn the glucose in absence of, this is actually plan B, C, D actually. Plan A is getting energy from oxygen. Plan A is that. The rest of them are all anaerobic. Only your willpower is making you to do that. So in absence of oxygen, you are generating what? Carbon dioxide and little energy and lactic acid. Acid. Just try to put a drop of dilute acid on your hand. Does it pain or not? It pains. So when that much of acid is accumulated in your muscles, will they pain or not? That's why you get the pain. That pain caused because of the accumulation of lactic acid is called fatigue. It is called fatigue. Learn the spelling. Fatigue. 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 U is wrong. Fatigue. It is fatigue. The muscular pain after strenuous workouts is because of anaerobic respiration and accumulation of lactic acid. That muscular pain we call it as fatigue. Let's see once again. Human muscles, in absence of energy, in absence of oxygen, when extra energy is needed, they respire anaerobically, human muscles. And when they respire anaerobically, lactic acid is produced and accumulated in the human muscles, which cause fatigue. Fatigue is nothing but muscular pains after strenuous exercises done. So that is about aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, glycolysis. Now let us understand glycolysis only in aerobic respiration. Glycolysis in aerobic respiration, glycolysis breaking down of glucose molecule. A 6-carbon compound glucose molecule is broken down into 2 3-carbon compounds, and then those 2 3 three carbon compounds are in presence of oxygen broken down into carbon dioxide, water and ATP molecule. And that is aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Till here anaerobic respiration also the same. Glycolysis, breaking down of glucose molecule, 6 carbon compound glucose molecule into 2 pyruvic acids, 2-3 carbon compounds, and then in absence of oxygen, then anaerobic respiration takes place. In human muscles and some of the bacteria, it will release carbon dioxide, lactic acid and heat. When lactic acid is released in the human muscles, it causes fatigue. That is one type of the anaerobic respiration. The other type of anaerobic respiration again is glucose molecules breaking down, is called glycolysis. 6 carbon compound glucose molecule is breaking down into 2 pyruvate acids, and then in absence of oxygen it is going to release carbon dioxide and alcohol and heat energy. That is called fermentation, and examples are bacteria and yeast. So now we understand why most of the people, when they do exercise more than their time, more than their capacity, they get pain. Suppose I am not used to lifting heavy things and continuously I lift heavy things for 5 to 10 minutes. The next day I start getting pain. Not next day, after 1 hour or so I start getting pain. That is because of anaerobic respiration. If I do extra work, actually I am not saying that every time you lift something you get pain only because of anaerobic respiration. No. When you are doing extra work, when there is no oxygen present inside our body. Now let me tell you, actually one of the important thing about our lungs is, our lungs have the capacity of 5,800 ml of oxygen can be inhaled. Like that. This side 2 lobes of lungs are there and this side 3 lobes of lungs are there. I can fill the lungs like that by taking deep breath, but we don't use that. We use only a small part of our lungs. 5 lobes are there, but maximum most of us will use only 1 lobe this side and 1 lobe this side. Rest of them we are making them lazy. So what is best, suggested to you is, early morning you wake up and do meditation. Take breathing, like fresh air early in the morning facing the sun, sit and do meditation. Breathe in deeply and let your lungs get expanded with the fresh air. And even after breathing also, 1200 ml of our gas is not properly burnt. And in olden days, people were so healthy because they were doing such meditations, yoga and all this. Pranayama. Pranayama is the best solution for all the lung problems. Like respiration, now that we are learning this lesson, and the problem out in the world is all about respiratory problems because of COVID-19. So this is the time you need to take care of your lungs. How can you take care of your lungs? First you need to learn completely about what is the capacity of your lungs. What can you do to keep your lungs so healthy? If your lungs are healthy, you are able to fight any kind of problem. Immunity is the best way to keep away all the diseases and all the problems. So try to build your immunity. How can you do that? Lungs. Build your lungs power. Lung power. That means do meditation, do yoga. Most of us have a lot of time in hand. So make use of the time in such a way that you can be a good fighter of COVID-19, and you have to set an example. Children, you are actually the only people who can make this a possibility. If you do, and you let every one of us also to do that, because you say, who doesn't listen? If you say convincingly, if you want something, how you convince your people like that? If you say convincingly, everyone will listen to you. So I hope you'll understand this and go through this lesson, children. So this is another topic that we learned in our respiration lesson, and tomorrow I'll come back to you with another interesting topic. Before that, I wish you all to do revision. Read the textbook, children. Without reading textbook, it's not easy for you to understand anything. Okay, children, thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.